And with the unofficial results for the Colorado Springs city election tonight, 6 city council seats up for grabs. And we want to start with some of those races for you. We want to look at these unofficial results. We'll start with District 1. This from the city clerk's website. Dave Donaldson winning in District 1 with 48% of the vote here. The next closest is Jim Carlson with 28%.
Moving to District...
Glenn Carlson, I should say. Sorry about that.
In District 2, an upset in the making. The only one tonight, Randy Helms winning by a small margin, though, 600 votes, 37% of the vote overall over incumbent Dave Geislinger at 32%.
And let's take a look at District 3. City Council President Richard Skorman soundly winning his re-election bid with 60% of the vote at this hour. The next closest challenger is Arthur Glenn with 19%.
And District 4 now, incumbent Yolanda Avila is winning a two-way race against Regina English. Also a very significant lead now. That has moved up to 62% of the vote.
And in District 5, 5 people were in the running. Nancy Hingham winning right now with, let's see where we are, 38%. Mary Elizabeth Fabian at 25%. Then you can see the rest are under 14%.
In District 6, Garfield Johnson running against Mike O'Malley. He's the incumbent who filled the remaining term of Andy Pico, who was elected to the state legislature. And right now, O'Malley with a significant lead with 63% of the vote. Again, these are all unofficial totals.
And the final question, a ballot issue. It is passing by a margin of 2/3 of the vote. You can see that Mayor Souther's office released a statement tonight saying he is pleased the voters passed this ballot issue, which will make it easier for local government to provide complete information on the ballot and help voters make a more informed choice.
Yeah, that will expand the wording on debt and tax issues in the city moving forward. And while the votes are still being counted, again, unofficial, those leading their races claiming victory. 2 incumbents have those clear leads, but as we showed you, 1 falling behind to a newcomer. Our Colette Bordelon continues our coverage live out City Hall with breaking down what we can expect so far from some of those new names projected to win. Colette?
So here's how it works. Colorado Springs is split up into 6 districts, each one representing around 80,000 people. Now those people within the district pick their city council member who represents what could be your part of town right here in City Hall. Out of the 6 district seats that were up for grabs, 3 candidates were vying for their re-election to city council. One of them, Dave Geislinger in District 2. At this point, he's losing to Randy Helms. Helms tells us he's honored and humbled to be chosen by the voters. The graduate of the Air Force Academy says serving on city council is an extension of his career choice, saying he wants to help with the mayor's agenda on things like roads or affordable housing.
The first thing, we really need to get our businesses back open 100%. Now, I want to do it safely, but we really need to get our economy going better than it has, obviously, over the last year plus.
His closest competition is Geislinger, who served on council for 4 years. I asked him to reflect on those years during his time on city council. He told me there are lots of accomplishments to look back on. What they've done has led to the Springs to new heights. Plus, he says he respects Helms and will support him through this transition if it's finalized.
Echoed what I have done. If he honors what he has said, he is essentially, from a policy perspective, a clone of me.
And heading to District 5, Nancy Hingham is leading the way. She'd be only one of 2 women on city council. Hingham started her career as a social worker and says she really cares about people and their well-being. Some of her goals include transportation within the city, protecting open spaces, and making sure small businesses are sustainable and viable. One of her strong suits is collaboration.
Whether you voted for me or not, whether you voted at all, I want and need to hear from you as I serve on city council on your behalf.
Right now, voter turnout in this municipal election is less than it typically is. It's right under 25% as of right now. Normally in these elections, we see it anywhere from 30 to 40%. Now, military voters do still have 8 days to turn in those ballots. And if there were any mistakes, like someone not signing the back of the ballot, that could be corrected in that period of time. Always watching out for you, Colorado Springs. Colette Bordelon, News 5.